Alright, quick demonstration on how to create a gradiated halftone with Krita. I have an empty layer. I'm going to use the gradient tool to create a gradient, and I will choose a black and white gradient. Alright, so I have a gradient here, and I'm just going to make that a little lighter. That's better. Alright, so I have my gradient. I want to make this a halftone. What I'll do is right click on the layer within the layer panel and select Add Filter Mask. And on the panel that opens, you'll find the halftone option under Artistic. So if I select that, you'll see I instantly changed it to a halftone. If I click OK, you'll note that it will create a layer of its own for that halftone, which means that this is non-destructive. I can show or hide that at any time or remove it altogether. So with that halftone layer selected, I'm going to click this button down here to open the properties again where I can make changes. Now, I'm not going to cover everything here. For the most part, it's pretty self-explanatory. Pattern, you have a couple of different patterns, lines or dots. If I select lines real quick, I'm going to leave it there and then go to transformation so that I can just show you that you will have a rotation option here. Currently set to 45. If I make it -45, the lines change direction. Alright, so you can change the rotation of those lines here. Other options on that panel, and I'm just going to go back to dots real quick. So transformation, what's important here is resolution. Right now it's set at 300. If I were to say get from image, it's going to take what I currently have set. So for the demonstration here, I was using a 72 pixel per inch resolution. That's why that's what it's set to. Okay, so I hit get from image, it swapped it. If I wanted to continue to use that resolution, but still wanted my dots to be a larger size, frequency is where it's at. I lower that frequency down. The size of the dots change until I get larger dots for the smaller space. Okay, so here's my dots. I'm not going to cover the rest here because none of that's really important for the person who asked about this. So post-processing, that is important. So you have two different post-processing options here. There's one up top, one down below. What I believe is happening here is the one below affects the mask itself, whereas the one up top affects the paint layer. Alright, so we have our foreground and background white and black, and our brightness and contrast for the filter mask itself. Changing the opacity here will affect what you see, but it doesn't let you see through this layer. So if you were to draw something on the background and you thought, I'm going to change this so that I can see through it, that's not how that works. This is only affecting the mask. What you can do here, though, is kind of use this as a pseudo color adjustment. So if you change these, you don't have to mess around with the actual gradient to kind of change what you're seeing for your lights and darks here. So that's useful. Even more so for me, though, is the uppermost post-processing, because this one, if I change the opacity for the background here to 0, I'm now not seeing the white here. You're seeing white, but you're seeing the background white. So if I click OK, select my background and choose a color, and then draw, you can see that I'm seeing through it. So if I select that filter again, open the properties, and go back to post-processing up top, and increase that back, you'll see I can't see it anymore. Alright, so this is where you would change that opacity for yourself. And there's other ways you could set it. I mean, you could change the filter blend mode to multiply if you want. But I feel like this is a better option for me. So those are the main points involved here. One other thing I will mention, though. So let's say you're not using it to color fill the entire layer with a gradient. and you're basically going to fill in an area, right? So let's say I had a circle down here, and this is what I was going to fill in and shade with a halftone. If I just select that real quick, come up here, it won't do to just use black. Okay, so if I fill this in with black and then choose a gray, you see this is all gray. If I erase back from this position, those dots, they don't change size, all right, because it's seeing all the same black, it's just transparent. You need to have white in here too, so it has to be shades of white and black. You can't have transparent on this layer. So once I start adding white, you can see those dots change size. They're getting smaller. That's the effect you're after. Okay. So that's how that works. So keep that in mind if you're painting on these layers directly, or if you're adding in those gradient tones. You can't have transparency in there. It has to be white or black. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'll leave it up to you to use it artistically.